At number 10, Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer made headlines early this year as DMs were leaked on social media which showed Armie talking about his bedroom fantasies. Some of the things discussed in the messages were Armie's desire to eat someone and a lot of NSFW topics. Some people, like ex-partners, have come forward with their personal accounts of Armie's fantasies. Because of this bombshell story, Armie has spent the last year losing work and watching his career fall to pieces. When the scandal first broke, he backed out of an upcoming film project alongside Jennifer Lopez in hopes to save his career, but he also dropped out of a series he was cast for Paramount+. Now he's out of work and won't be finding any more anytime soon, as he's also been dropped by his agent and personal publicist. Hollywood will definitely not be casting Armie in any upcoming productions unless he's able to rebuild his image after the scandal, but even then, people won't be quick to forget about this scandal, so maybe it's for the best that we forget about him in the new year. At number 9, Gina Carano. Up next, we have another celebrity who faced a lot of backlash this year for old Twitter posts who should probably be left in 2021. Known for her role on the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, actress Gina Carano began to face a lot of backlash for her social media posts that exposed her ideals and opinions that many people took offense to. Though there were a few posts that garnered a lot of negative attention, such as her comments on putting your pronouns in your social media bio, the one that was seemingly the nail in the coffin for her Disney career was a post that compared being a Republican to being a victim of the horrors of World War II, saying that Republicans are being persecuted because of their political beliefs. A lot of people took offense to this, as you could imagine, and this led to more backlash and to her getting exposed for her unpopular opinions. Other posts that caused Gina to face scrutiny include her tweets about voter fraud in the US, as well as posts mocking people who wear masks amidst the pandemic. According to a source, the people behind the Mandalorian series had been looking for a reason to fire Gina because of her controversial social media presence, so this exposure was allegedly the catalyst that led them to firing Gina from her role. Because of the nature of this scandal and the offensive things that were said, Gina might be forgotten about in 2022. Before we carry on talking about celebrities who should be forgotten about in the new year, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Lea Michele. TV and Broadway actress Lea Michele was cancelled all the way back in 2020 after a bunch of people came forward to expose her for her awful on-set behavior, and she apparently still remains cancelled. Reports and accusations came out last summer detailing how she's been known to disrespect people that she's worked with in the past. This all started at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, where one of Lea's former Glee co-stars, Samantha Ware, called Lea out on how the actress made her time on the show a quote, living hell. This ended up causing a chain reaction, causing other people to come forward to talk about their horror stories of working with the actress, with some revealing how she would disrespect and talk down to background actors on set, how she would delay production, and how she would refuse to talk to anyone face to face and would force them to speak with her assistant instead. Because of all the negative attention, Lea was cancelled, and as I mentioned before, that cancelled status still sticks. Lea hasn't been able to bounce back from the drama that went down last year, so 2022 might be another rough year for the actress and her career, and we should probably forget about her.
At number 7, Matthew Morrison. Not only should Matthew Morrison be dancing alone after being fired from So You Think You Can Dance, but he should also be forgotten in 2022 after he failed to comply with competition production protocols that prevented him from being able to judge the competition fairly. Matthew would be fired for his pretty odd behavior. Matthew would end up getting himself axed off the Fox's reality competition show after he had an inappropriate relationship with one of the female contestants. Later it would be revealed that the two never met up off-set, but he had been sending her some direct messages on social media that definitely crossed the line. The dancer would then reveal that she felt uncomfortable with his line of comments, and then she took it all to the producers. When Fox finally got involved, Matthew would be fired after they conducted their own investigation. Now, a lot of us were shocked Matthew would do such a thing, as the Glee star had 2 children and a wife. Matthew was this perfect wife guy, or so we thought, and then we found out he betrayed her in such an unflattering way, and it was truly disturbing. And number 6, Fred Savage. When it comes to actors doing some pretty questionable things, actor and director Fred Savage shocked us all this year when misconduct accusations leveled against him started to arise. The accusations would then soon cost him his executive producer and directing job on the current ABC reboot of coming-of-age TV comedy, when a 46-year-old woman came forward to accuse Fred of misconduct earlier this year, we would all come to know that Fred had a dark alter ego, and it would also be exposed that he had some pretty strange relationships with women that were much younger than him working on the crew, as he would give them gifts and would have them stay in his Atlanta home. While in the home, Fred would go on to belittle them and make them feel worthless. After one woman finally was able to get away from the set, he would continue to text and call her for weeks, and she would later sell one of the voice messages to the paper. Now, I think I should point out that it's also been said that Fred never once acted this way in front of the producers and the actors on the set. However, he would show his darker side to some of the below-the-line employees who felt like they were powerless. And number 5, Will Smith. Will Smith definitely shocked fans and viewers when he walked onto the stage and had a huge altercation with Chris Rock during the 2022 Academy Awards. And now, Will has even gone on to blame Chris Rock for his bottled rage that was unleashed. Will would go on to say during an interview on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah that he was going through something that night. And that didn't justify his behavior, but Chris's behavior caused him to just lose it. Will has also gone on to say that he learned from the incident when he said, "What I would say is that you never know what somebody's going through. I understand how shocking that was for people. I was gone. That was rage that had been bottled up for a really long time. That was a horrific night, as you can imagine." Now, that night was definitely an embarrassing moment for both actors, and I think Will needs a much needed break from Hollywood, and that's why he made this list today. Number 4, Kevin Spacey. For more than 3 decades, it seems like Kevin Spacey could do nothing wrong. From his first start in 1986 on Broadway to his 5th season on The House of Cards, Kevin Spacey was at the height of his career when his actions would cause him to fall from grace. Kevin would become a disgraced actor, devastating news of his actions would surface, and he would then head to his Twitter the next day to say he was beyond horrified by the stories that were released about him, and that he tried to claim he couldn't remember a single thing about the alleged incidents. He would also try to apologize by blaming his behavior on being under the influence. The same day, Kevin's longtime talent agency would sever ties with him, and even Netflix would end their relationship with the star. And just like them, we should forget Kevin. After being dropped, Kevin would also enter into some court cases after the allegations that arose against him. On October 7, 2022, Anthony Rapp would testify against Kevin, and he would say he was frozen and felt powerless as he didn't know what to do. At the time of the incident, Anthony was only 14, and this wouldn't be the first person to come forward, as the trial's first witness, Andrew Holtzman, would claim Kevin made similar moves on him during the summer of 1981.
At number 3, James Corden. This year, people learned that they hate James Corden. The actor and late night host got in a lot of scandals this year, so another one in 2022 is probably a guarantee at this point, and we should probably forget about him in the new year. James has been known to undermine his employees at his late night show, and he's been faced with backlash for his Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts segment, as he's been known to use traditional Asian foods as part of the gross foods category. On top of that, he's faced a lot of scrutiny for his Golden Globes nomination for his role in the movie Prom, where he played a gay character because people thought that he used too many gay stereotypes in his portrayal of the role. On top of that, a number of people who've worked with him or have had encounters with the host have also made a lot of negative comments about him, making him look like a pretty bad guy in the industry. It seems like he's landing himself in more and more hot water as time goes on, so his popularity is dwindling. At number 2, Zooey Deschanel. Even though Zooey Deschanel plays fun, bubbly, and happy characters on TV and in films, her real-life personality is far from nice. Turns out Zooey is actually pretty mean in real life, and she's hard to work with on set. People who have worked with the actress have said that she's got a really bad attitude on set, saying that she acts very stuck up and has a big ego. Others have said that she makes large demands a lot, throws unnecessary tantrums about literally anything, and has a reputation for delaying shoots, but won't hesitate to go off on someone else who makes demands or delays shoots. Basically, she's got a really bad attitude, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people think that she doesn't get cast much anymore, because no one wants to work with her. I'm sure that there's a reason for her diva attitude, maybe it's stress or other factors, but she still rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in the industry. Because of her reputation, we might have to forget about her. At number 10, Jussie Smollett. Former Empire star Jussie Smollett made headlines a little while back after faking an attack for attention. Jussie made a claim that he was attacked by a group of people as a hate crime, but after further investigation, it was discovered that the entire altercation was made up by the actor. As a result of the scandal that followed, Jussie was let go from Empire and has been hard-pressed to find work elsewhere. The reason why he made up this altercation was an attempt to get a pay raise from the producers of the show, as he was not happy with the salary that he was already making. Now, Hollywood executives know him as someone who will do some shady things to get what he wants, including filing a false police report and faking an assault just to get people to get him more attention. After the incident, Jesse started losing a lot of work, and his career hasn't really picked up much since, with some sources saying that he might be blacklisted. At this rate, 2022 might be as challenging as 2021 was for the actor, and Hollywood might not have a place for him in the coming year. At number 9, Johnny Depp. Actor Johnny Depp has really been going through it lately. He went through a high-profile legal case, and a lot of information was exposed, but even after the legal battle against the Sun publication was over, he started losing work. First, he was asked to step down from his role as Grindelwald in the upcoming Fantastic Beasts film, and fans found out that he had been blacklisted from Disney as well because of the scandal that is still ongoing with Amber Heard. Now, even though many people are siding with and trying to defend Johnny, it doesn't seem to be making much effect in Hollywood. Fortunately, because of Johnny's image in the media at the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to book many roles in 2022. On top of that, he's still dealing with a lot of legal cases with Amber right now, so acting might not be his top priority at the moment. We might not see much from Johnny in 2022, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Before we carry on talking about some celebrities who might not find work next year, why not take some time to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel as well to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne is no stranger to having a bad reputation in Hollywood. She's been facing backlash since she was a Disney star, and things have just escalated from there. Because she's viewed by many as problematic, Hollywood may be hesitant to hire her for upcoming projects because of how people view her. Just in the last little while, Bella has been in the news for a number of scandals. Last summer, Bella faced backlash for her OnlyFans scam, where she scammed her fans into paying upwards of $200 for content that they weren't happy with, and even prompted a company policy change that affected other creators on the platform. She was also involved in some Twitter beef with her ex Tana Mojo because she released a diss track about her, and not too long ago, Bella also faced even more backlash as she publicly defended Armie Hammer and the leaked DMs that exposed his bedroom fantasies. Bella just has a way of rubbing people the wrong way, and since she's faced so much backlash just in the last year alone, I feel like Hollywood is gonna pass on her for a little while, so she might not book much in 2022. At number 7, Shia LaBeouf. From what we've seen in the news over the years, and from what we've heard from celebrities, I think it's safe to say that Shia LaBeouf isn't doing too great in Hollywood right now, and we should probably forget about him next year. There are people who are still fans of the actor, but after hearing about his questionable and sometimes downright disrespectful actions, idolizing Shia probably isn't for the best. He's someone who's faced a lot of allegations as of late. Last year, Shia faced allegations from his ex-girlfriend FKA Twigs after she filed a lawsuit against him detailing some of the encounters that she had with him. Twigs alleged that he threatened to crash her car with her in it if she didn't profess her love for him, and claimed that he would sometimes grab her so hard that she would bruise. Even singer Sia came forward with her own allegations against the actor, saying that she too had been emotionally damaged by Shia. On top of that, he was fired by Olivia Wilde from the upcoming film Don't Worry Darling, due to his alleged bad behavior, as people have cited that Shia is, quote, not an easy guy to work with. His career isn't what it used to be, so all I can say is maybe we should forget about him. At number 6, Hartley Sawyer. Hartley Sawyer is one actor who might never come back to Hollywood after he got exposed for his incredibly offensive tweets back in 2020. Hartley, who's best known for having played Ralph Dibny, aka the Elongated Man on CW's The Flash, faced a heck of a lot of backlash when many of his past tweets were brought to light. These tweets, which span as far back as 2009, highlight Hartley's horribly offensive attempt at humor, with many of his so-called jokes including racist, sexist, homophobic, and even violent messages. These tweets were brought to light during the Black Lives Matter movement that saw a big jump in support last summer, and as fans dug deep into many celebrities' lives, this was one of the biggest stories of celebrity exposure to come out during that time. As a result of these offensive tweets, Hartley was fired from his role on The Flash, and he hasn't been seen on social media since issuing an apology for his actions. Because of the reputation he now has for being offensive, combined with the fact that he's been out of Hollywood for so long, I have a feeling that Hartley won't be back in the spotlight for a very long time, so 2022 might be his year to be forgotten about in Hollywood. At number 5, James Franco. James Franco has been slowly losing respect in Hollywood to the point where he's losing work and connections in the industry. Things started to go downhill for the actor back in 2014 when he got into a scandal after he tried sliding into a fan's DMs only to find out that she was actually 17 years old. James met a girl visiting New York City at an autograph signing outside of his Broadway show. The two took pictures together and she tagged him, which obviously led to him finding her Instagram and DMing her. The two talked for a bit, and after their conversation continued, James asked for her number, her age, her relationship status, and whether or not he should have booked a hotel room for the both of them. Luckily, nothing ever ended up happening between them, but the fan ended up exposing their conversation online, and James faced mild backlash. After that, people got a very different impression of the actor, and a lot of people started to refuse to work with him as well. Because of his public image, he should probably be forgotten about in 2022. At number 4, Chris D'Elia. Last year, Chris D'Elia faced multiple allegations of misconduct and harassing young women online, and though this all started back in 2020, things haven't cleared up for Chris, and that's been really bad for his career. Multiple women came forward to share their unpleasant experiences with him, from unwanted advances to indecent exposure and manipulation last year, but more accusations have also come out in 2021. In a lawsuit filed back in early March, Chris was accused of soliciting private content from a young woman under the age of 18. Though this happened in 2014 when she was 17, she was inspired by the other women who've come forward to tell her story and seek justice. The investigation into Chris's alleged crimes has revealed that he solicited over 100 photos from this woman. His actions and experiences with these young women have impacted their lives, and now they have to live with that. Because of the allegations against Chris, his career has been completely damaged, and he was even dropped by his agency and manager. You never want to support someone who's done the things that Chris has, and just knowing what he's been accused of just shows you that he can't be trusted as a role model to anyone, and because of that, he should probably be forgotten about in 2022. At number 3, Katherine Heigl. A lot of people don't like working with Katherine Heigl because of how rude she is. She's been known to be mean to people on set, have high demands, and just have a really bad attitude. She's known to be quite critical of the roles and material she's given, and she even brought this up when she withdrew from the Emmy nominations because she said that the material she was given for Grey's Anatomy didn't warrant an Emmy. That's certainly disrespectful to the writers, because for someone to say something like that implies that the writing wasn't good enough to please people, whereas the people at the Emmys thought it was worth the award. Katherine is also known to make ridiculously high salary demands, and apparently she's been doing this since before she became a big name in the industry. She's reportedly hired and fired a lot of publicists and assistants over the years, so she really sounds like quite the diva. Because of all this, directors and Hollywood execs don't want to work with her anymore because she's a nightmare to work with. People say that she's been blacklisted from Hollywood, so the chances of her booking anything substantial in 2022 are pretty slim. At number 2, Taylor Lautner. Taylor Lautner has been having a rough time in Hollywood lately. He's pretty much disappeared from the media, and many think that the actor has been blacklisted from Hollywood because no one wants to hire him. Since finishing up his time in the Twilight Saga, Taylor hasn't really seen much success. After the franchise ended, Taylor went looking for work, and at first, people were ready to offer him some good Hollywood parts. He was still a big name in the industry after he got so much fame from playing his character Jacob Black in the Twilight movies, but soon Hollywood executives realized that he's just not the powerhouse that they were expecting. The first few movies that he starred in tanked at the box office, and between this and his high asking salary, no one was keen on taking a chance on the actor. In the years since, he's appeared on some TV shows like Scream Queens, but other than that, we haven't really heard much from him. He recently got engaged, so maybe he's just focusing on living a simple life for now, so maybe we won't see him come back to Hollywood in 2022. At number 8, Gina Carano. Up next, we have another celebrity who has faced a lot of backlash this year for old Twitter posts. Known for her role on the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, actress Gina Carano began to face massive backlash for her social media posts that exposed her ideals and opinions that some people took offense to. Though there were a few posts that garnered a lot of negative attention, such as her comments on putting your pronouns in your social media bio, the one that was seemingly the last straw for her Disney career was a post that compared being a Republican to being a victim of the horrors of World War II, saying that Republicans are being persecuted because of their political beliefs. A lot of people took offense to this and led to more backlash and to her getting exposed for her unpopular opinions. Other posts that caused Gina to face scrutiny include her tweets about voter fraud in the US, as well as posts mocking people who wear masks amidst the pandemic. According to a source, the people behind the Mandalorian series had been looking for a reason to fire Gina because of her controversial social media presence, and so this exposure was allegedly the catalyst that led to them firing Gina from her role. Because of the nature of this scandal and the offensive things that were said, Gina might find it hard to find work in the new year if people still haven't forgiven or forgotten about her latest scandal. At number 6, Stacey Dash. Known for her role as Dion in the 90s film Clueless, Stacey Dash rose to fame in the 90s, but since then she's hit rock bottom and is no longer welcome in the entertainment industry. Nowadays, the actress is known for being quite outspoken when it comes to her political views, and this is what led Hollywood to lock her out, so to speak, and she hasn't been in the acting world for years. Speaking out about her take on women's rights, Black History Month, segregation, and the quote-unquote bathroom bill, the actress has proven herself to be too much for even the likes of Fox News, for which she used to be a part of. Stacey would often come on air on Fox News to talk about whatever issues were being discussed, but in a turn of events, Fox News let her go after having gone too far with her words, especially in reference to the abolishment of Black History Month. Some people have said that her extreme beliefs are what stopped Stacey from receiving any roles, and she's even said that she was dropped by her agent for being too problematic. Her views on gay and trans rights, as well as her opinion on race in Hollywood, have ultimately ended her career as an actress, so she definitely won't be welcomed back to Hollywood in 2022. At number 5, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson is someone who is notoriously hated in Hollywood for quite a number of reasons. He's no longer considered for any Hollywood roles and hasn't been for a while, and he only seems to make an entrance into the industry when directing his own films since other studios don't want to work with him. He's been the subject of a number of controversies, from that of the Passion of the Christ for being anti-Semitic to career-damaging freakouts, driving under the influence, and a number of people coming forward to discuss Mel's racist and anti-Semitic views. Though he continues to be cancelled in Hollywood, he attempts to make a return every so often, but again, only through his own work. He's been facing controversy for decades and no one has really forgiven him, so he remains banned from Hollywood and essentially banned from all other media networks. As the new year approaches, I'm sure we can all agree that Mel won't be booking anything in 2022. At number 2, Ellen DeGeneres. Though many of us know Ellen DeGeneres as the famed talk show host, she is also an actress, having started her own comedy show as well as voicing Dory in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. She certainly fits the criteria for this list, both for her work and for being cancelled. Last year, Ellen was exposed for creating a toxic work environment on The Ellen Show, and she was the recipient of a lot of negative attention and backlash in 2020. Rumors started circulating about Ellen not being as nice as she's portrayed as on TV, and soon former employees started coming forward with their own horror stories about Ellen and the work environment that they had to deal with. There were allegations of racial microaggressions, discrimination, and harassment on the part of Ellen as well as other higher ups in the company. For months, Ellen was being exposed for her toxic behavior and she faced a lot of flack for it, having to issue multiple apologies to make up for things. Stars who had been on The Ellen Show in the past came forward to talk about their experiences with the comedian, and many interviews were being picked apart by people online, digging up moments that show Ellen in a negative light. Basically, Ellen got exposed to the max and she lost credibility, her show tanked, and now it's ending. And because of all this, no one knows what the future holds for Ellen.
At number 10, we have Billy Ray Cyrus. After Miley Cyrus would break digital ties with her father, Billy Ray Cyrus, some dark secrets would start to be released and we would be left feeling confused, trying to figure out what actually went down. To get you all up to speed, Billy decided to divorce Miley's mom for a younger woman. Miley would ultimately disapprove of her father's decision and would go on to unfollow him on Instagram and cut him out of her life completely. The situation would later escalate when it was revealed that Billy is now a singer fire roast. Sources have also said that the two met and have been close, and they've been waiting for her to reach an older age before making the relationship an actual thing. Now, the words Miley would have with her father over the whole situation have both not eager to make amends, and it's honestly really disturbing to see Billy's true colors come out. It's sad to see this once close duo break ties, as a father's bond with their daughter is always one that can't be undone, but with Miley believing that her mom was the only one always there for her, I don't think we'll see Billy and Miley make up anytime soon. And number 9, Amber Heard. After facing humiliation in a courtroom and having her lies finally exposed, it's clear Amber Heard is just one actor we should leave behind in 2022, because she should never be an actor again. Now, Amber's career in Hollywood wasn't really strong because other than her role in Aquaman, she's never really been a hot ticket, and it's clear that Johnny was the one who made her truly interesting. When a jury found in favor of Depp, like they should have from the beginning, Amber's name would be tarnished, and with it, we would all judge everything she's ever said, or done. Amber came out to ruin an innocent man's career, and as soon as the trial started, the whole world would have seemed to turn on Amber Heard. Her Believe All Women story was heartbreaking and disturbing, as all she's ever done was burn bridges and tell lies in an attempt to gain more fame, and she's become someone that we can't even believe rose to stardom in the first place. I really hope during her break from Hollywood she can focus and reflect on what she's done, and that she'll come out with a proper apology for Johnny, as she ruined his career, and to see Johnny fall the way he did was truly saddening. At number 8, Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller is a pretty controversial figure that doesn't really deserve his superhero status any longer. Coming off of disastrous business quarter, Warner Brothers still has to make up their minds about what to do with The Flash, and Ezra Miller going forward due to his ongoing publicity scandals. More than half of America believes that Ezra should be cancelled and that The Flash should be reshot with a different actor. With felony and other charges coming to light, people believe that if Ezra stays in the spotlight anymore, his behavior is only going to get worse, and more scandals and crimes will soon start to arise. Warner Brothers should act fast and remove the actor from the project, whether that be from promotional material or credits, or at least condemn their actions and flag them in the future. Ezra keeps lashing out, and it's an actor we just need to forget about as soon as possible.
At number 7, Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake started facing a lot of backlash this year, with fans of Britney Spears flooding his social media pages and demanding that he apologize after the way he treated her in the media after their breakup in the early 2000s. The Framing Britney Spears documentary that was released looked into the way that the pop star was shown in the media, from the paparazzi to interviews, and it dives deep into how this stardom affected her. A big part of the documentary explores Justin Timberlake's role in the media's mistreatment of Britney after their public breakup in 2002. After their relationship ended, Justin made Britney look like the villain in the relationship, accusing her of cheating and essentially weaponizing their breakup to boost his own career. This prompted the media to put a lot of blame and shame on Britney, who really didn't deserve it. Now that fans in the media are revisiting Justin's actions, there are a number of people calling for accountability, and this could hurt his career. Because of all the drama that Britney faced this year, and combined with people digging into her past, the fact that Justin played a role in the media's mistreatment of the pop star may hurt his career and might make it harder to find work in the new year. At number 6, Jamie Lynn Spears. Another person whose career may be damaged after this drama with Britney Spears is her sister Jamie Lynn Spears, who got caught up in the scandal that was her sister's conservatorship case. There was a lot of family drama involved, as you could imagine, and instead of laying low, she stepped into the spotlight, and doing that attracted a lot of hate towards her. Many of Britney's fans criticized Jamie for not standing up for her sister and watching her suffer through the conservatorship for so long. Things took such a nasty turn for Jamie that it's damaged her relationship with Britney, and now with the massive amount of support that Britney had garnered over the last few months, an enemy of Britney is an enemy for everyone. Britney's fans are watching her sister like a hawk, waiting for one wrong move in order to cancel her, and this bad press probably wouldn't make Hollywood executives want to hire her over fears of bad publicity. At number 5, Chris Pratt. It seems like Chris Pratt is having a hard time in the media lately. Chris has been making headlines recently because people want him to be canceled. First, back in 2020, people were upset with the actor because he didn't publicly support Joe Biden, and a lot of people also took to criticizing his Christian faith. Now, someone's faith is no reason to hate someone, I will say, that is just absurd, but it still had a lot of people going off at him. On top of that, just recently, Chris faced backlash after he posted about his wife Katherine Schwarzenegger and how she gave him a gorgeous, healthy daughter, end quote. This had people running to his ex Anna Faris to support her because fans believed that Chris's comment was a dig at the fact that their son Jack was born premature and had to spend time in the NICU before being allowed to go home after he was born. People called Chris out for his choice of words, and they're using this as further fuel to use against the actor. I feel like with this tension bubbling up, 2022 might be the year that Chris Pratt actually gets canceled, and this might have a very big impact on his career. At number 4, Lea Michele. TV and Broadway actress Lea Michele was canceled in 2020 after a bunch of people came forward to expose her for her awful on-set behavior, and apparently she still remains canceled. Reports and accusations came out last summer detailing how she'd been known to disrespect people she's worked with in the past, and this all started at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, where one of Lea Leah's former Glee co-star Samantha Ware called Leah out on how the actress made her time on the show a quote, living hell. This ended up causing a chain reaction of other people coming forward to talk about their horror stories of working with the actress, with some revealing how she would disrespect and talk down to background actors on set, how she would delay production, and how she would refuse to talk to anyone face to face, and how she would even force them to speak with her assistant instead. Because of all this negative attention, Leah was cancelled, and as I mentioned before, that cancel status still sticks. Leah hasn't been able to bounce back from that drama that went down last year, so 2022 might be another rough year for the actress's career.
Number 3, Jennifer Lawrence. It's no lie when I say everyone seems to be sick of Jennifer Lawrence and her very odd behavior lately. It's no doubt in 2022, she became pretty invisible, and it should honestly probably stay that way so she won't risk doing any more controversial things. While the star has tried to blame her exit from Hollywood on the fact that she just felt like an imposter and that everyone was fake and that she felt like people were sick of her, that definitely wasn't actually the case. We were more actually just against the star for doing things that made us all shake our heads, like the time she caused sacred rocks to fall in Hawaii because she thought it'd be a good idea to scratch her behind on him. Not only would she cause locals to think a curse was finally released, but she would also proceed to make jokes about the incident that just weren't right. Jennifer has given us some pretty poor performances, such as her role in the movie Mother. However, her poor attitude and over-the-top persona is why we should forget about her in 2022. Number 2, Sam Elliot. In March of 2022, Sam Elliot would slam the film The Power of the Dog in Marc Maron's podcast. He would go on to say the film wasn't good and he was upset with the illusions it showed of the LGBTQ community. Sam would go on to say the characters wore bow ties and not much else. In addition, he went on to say that Jane Champion was a woman who knew nothing about the American West. Jane would then clap back by saying Sam wasn't a cowboy and he was actually just an actor. Now, after facing much backlash, Sam would then apologize for what he said on the WTF podcast, and he would acknowledge that he said some things that definitely hurt people and that he felt terrible. Sam would go on to say, the gay community has been incredible to me in my career, and I mean my entire career from before I got started in this town. I'm sorry I hurt any of those friends and someone that I love and anyone else with the words I used. But was his apology even enough? And number 1, Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg found herself suspended from the ABC's The View after her comments made in January 2022. When she came out to apologize by saying she would take the time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments, all of us couldn't even stand by the star any longer, especially when she tweeted a recap about what she said, trying to justify her actions. She would then try to rebuttal her statements, but at that point she already damaged her career. Now, Whoopi has been known to make some pretty controversial comments over the year, like the time she came for Bella Thorne about the photos she released so a hacker wouldn't get the best of her. Whoopi's comments have been out of control for years now, and it's actually pretty surprising it only took her this long to be cancelled. With Whoopi having such a powerful career in Hollywood as a woman who came from nothing, it's surprising that she uses so much controversy in an attempt to stay afloat, because the star could use her voice to end hate instead of starting it. And that's why if anyone on this list we need to forget about in 2022, it would be her.